Welcome to our live show, guys. In person with the truck. Welcome to TFL Studios. And the emphasis on studios because we are in our, garage/studio. We thought that it would be interesting to do a very in-depth walk around of the new Tundra, show you everything that you guys want to see about the truck. So this is your chance to do an in-depth show and tell, Andre, for our audience, since you spent the most time with this truck. But before we get to that, let's start with kind of the most recent, I'm going to call it tempest in a teapot because it's a controversy that blew up recently but isn't quite as dramatic as it seems. And that is, of course, I'm talking about the remote start controversy, Andre. Tell them what the issue is and let's talk about that.
So a couple things, and actually we have a story on TFLtruck.com where I researched it, we talked to Toyota, I wanted to get their information and all the facts. So basically, so on the key fob, let me show, can you get the key fob?
I don't have the key fob.
It's in the cup holder.
Okay.
So first of all, there's an older feature where on the key fob, even though it doesn't say it, you can double click it, lock it, hold it, and start the engine remotely. That feature does not work on our key. So you can double click, lock, and hold. And this is supposed to be the old school way of remote starting.
Yeah, but maybe the truck knows it's inside.
Maybe it doesn't have satellite connection and it knows. Anyway, there's a new way of doing this, which is using your phone. So using the Toyota app. And that is basically their connected services. And somebody online in a Reddit forum said, well, you're going to pay $8 a month for this feature to remote start your truck, to do some other monitoring, some servicing and alerts. Well, that's not quite true because there's a free trial for this truck. It's 1 year for remote start and those services, and also 3 years for maintenance alerts, free trial. So you don't have to pay that for that now, but you will in the future.
Yeah, and then we should clarify. So the remote start doesn't work on our key, but yet we have we have two Tundras that are both red, that are both limiteds. One belongs to us and one belongs to Toyota, but yet it works on the one that's outside.
And not inside.
Not inside. So we're thinking maybe ours works as well, but because it's inside, the truck knows it's not connected. We're just guessing at this, but the one outside works. Toyota's works. And then people were freaking out. They were thinking if they did have this feature, that it then wouldn't work, but this is not going to get disconnected. It's the phone remote start.
It's the phone remote start,
right?
Yeah.
So, look, let's face it, Andre, everybody's going to subscription services nowadays, and this is Toyota's way of jumping on the bandwagon. I don't like it. Do you like it?
No. So
do you like it? Nobody likes it.
Well, I know certain services like concierge, right? Let's say I want to talk to somebody about the best restaurant to visit, in Boston when I'm visiting. That I would pay for something like that. But to remote start my truck, to check on my truck, that doesn't sound
And the
right.
car companies and truck companies have decided that is a way to add additional revenue. But I think people are getting really sick of getting nickeled and dimed, right? Initially it started with like Netflix, and then people went to, name all 15 online services that stream videos and movies. And so now people feel like everything is a paid for service that once again used to be complimentary or used to come with the vehicle. So it's a trend that's happening, but let's kind of move on and let's talk about the truck. So first and foremost, let's talk about this grill, Andre, because as you know from our time with Toyota, there are a number of different grills that you can get. But before I actually talk about that, let's talk about our truck and what we paid for it. I think people are interested in it. And it's expensive, Andre. This truck is a limited, which is a mid-size grade. It's not limited, you'd think would be top, but it's not.
It keeps locking itself because we haven't opened the door yet.
I know. I'll do that. I'll do this. But
there you go.
Anyway, mid-grade, $57,000. I think the check you cut with Colorado taxes, $64,000, which is a lot of money for a truck that is a mid-grade. And what we did get on the limited are only two options. The TFL, I'm going to call it the TFL off-road package. I know it's TRD, but TFL off-road package. And of course, this paint color is a $400 and like $50 option, I think, something like that.
Supersonic red, it's called.
So we didn't get things for $57,000. Let's name all the things we didn't get. So we didn't get a sunroof.
Correct. We didn't get the rear view camera mirror.
We didn't get a heated seat.
We did. We did not get a heated steering wheel.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we will show you the interior as well. We also did not get wireless charging. It's locked.
What'd you
The
do,
alarm
Andre?
system, it's a connected services. It's remote connection.
Why are we getting in this thing? We're not there yet. Why are you coming in? We're not even talking about going in yet.
Okay, you asked about what we didn't get, and I wanted to show that.
Well, we'll show that when we go inside. Let's not go inside yet.
I have a question
Yeah.
from the outside here.
Okay.
From Dougie Doo, who was asking it pretty early on, saying, can you take a closer look at the rear corner bumper pieces, please?
Yes, we will. When we get to the back, let's start in the front. And there's so much to talk about on this truck. And Tommy, who's behind the camera, is eager to show you everything at once. But let's start at the front and move on to the back, going under the hood, inside, and then the bed eventually. So first of all, this front is enormous.
Yeah.
Right? The comment that I keep reading over and over again. I mean, look at this. Look, this is, what is that? I'm 6 foot.
5 foot, probably.
Yeah, it's 5 foot. It's just a giant, and these come in different trim packages. So Limited, of course, has this. You think it's real?
Kind of like, no, kind of painted, yeah.
Painted, yeah.
Painted outside of the grill and then blacked out inside.
And then blacked out inside. But you can get this on like a much higher trim level in a chromey color, right? I think there are at least, 7 different versions of this on the nose.
Yeah, and actually the one I like the most is that TRD Sport has this, and the SR5 trucks, some of them, where this is body color, right? So this exterior part of the grill is body color, which kind of makes the whole thing, a little bit smaller visually. But if you love big grills, this is where it's at.
Let me show you my favorite feature. I'm going to turn on those little lights that are integrated now into it. So
yeah, the little horizontal LED lights. Whoa, you just blinded me, okay?
Sorry, dude.
It's okay, do the fogs.
That's my favorite feature.
There you go. And these are not halogen, they're LED, and the light is very white and bright, which is good. And during my trip from Houston to Boulder here to our studios, I had no issues with these lights. But dude, there's something else we didn't get.
What's that?
The fancy lights?
We didn't get the fancy headlights. No.
Right. But these lights are functional. I like them, except some of the fancier lights have a little bit more of the LED elements in here and kind of the little blinker that goes all the way across.
I was wondering, do you know if the fancy lights actually are self-leveling and then steering? They might be, right?
I think so, and ours has a manual adjustment for leveling inside, which we'll show you in a second.
Old-fashioned. And of course, under the hood is one engine choice, and that is a V6 twin turbo. So if you like a V6 twin turbo, that's what you're going to get.
And this hood doesn't open very far.
No, it doesn't. It needs like a mechanics function.
Mechanics feature,
yeah,
yes.
where it opens all the way. And you might be wondering why we don't have the hybrid. Why don't we have the hybrid, Andre?
Well, because Toyota is not going to be selling the hybrid until March or April time frame of next year.
Yep, that's
and
exactly right.
So that's coming later.
Yeah, so no hybrid for us. No TRD Pro for us either, for the same reason, right, Andre?
Yep, because TRD Pro is only available as a hybrid, or will be available as a hybrid.
Oh, there you go. How about
Yeah,
that?
thanks for the light, dude.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, twin turbo. The engine is kind of mounted kind of deep in the engine bay. We have the battery near the firewall, and also lots of space here. This is the grill shutters right here in the front. Radiators. Some of you asked to see the transmission cooler.
Yeah, it's way down there.
So Tommy, our cameraman, so it's not a traditional cooler that you might imagine like a little radiator looking thing. It's actually on the passenger side, and it's really hard to see. Let me try. It's way down there, and it's a little aluminum looking element that goes into the main core system. So it's very hard to see, and it's on the passenger side.
And Andre, what is the output of this engine?
389 horsepower.
Which is great.
Good, but EcoBoost Ford is 400 horse, so it's a little bit less, and 479 pound-feet of torque, which is also great. Not quite 500 from the Ford.
It's not the most powerful engine in its class, but it is certainly very powerful. Now, there is a thing that this comes with, and you can probably see it right here. You see this? These are active, can you show this from this side?
Yeah, grill shutters. You can see them from the front as well.
Can you see them? So these are active shutters.
Andre, you showed them.
Yep.
And the thing about the active shutters, according to Toyota, is because the shutters are active, we do not have front recovery hooks. And a lot of people are concerned about that.
Well, yeah, and I think they talked about different reasons for the lack of recovery hoods. It's also like pedestrian crash protection, aerodynamics, everything. There's a lot of reasons, and also there's a deployable chin spoiler under there that's it's really hard to see, but you can actually make it pop out, and maybe at the very end there's like a service position that it has that you can actually lower it manually.
I think the aftermarket will sort out those recovery hooks.
Yes, you know what I would do?
Yes.
If I was an aftermarket company? So if you go here, I would replace this whole section because this chin is a little bit protruding. I don't know what's behind it, but I would try to make it so you have a better approach angle, maybe make this out of steel, and maybe put some hooks somewhere in here. So that's what I would do.
Yeah, for an off-road truck, the approach angle is pretty square.
It's under 22 degrees.
Can you take this?
Yes.
Yeah, and most trucks, especially off-road trucks, are 25 or so degrees. So the next interesting feature, I think, of these trucks are the tires. Do you want to come and walk them through the tires, Andre?
Yep.
And wheels. Unfortunately, I don't know. They're 33s. 35s are the new 33s. So I kind of feel like they're any truck now that has 33s, to me at least, feels very under tired. But these are Falcons.
Yeah, Falcon Wild Peaks, and this is a 20-inch wheel, blacked out. This, like Roman just mentioned, TRD off-road package. I would like an 18-inch wheel, maybe with a little bit more sidewall. But we have an off-road video with this truck. It performed pretty well off-road. So the grip is there, just the sidewall is not quite there.
And now Toyota is doing a 2-inch leveling kit basically from the factory, or actually from the dealer installed.
Dealer installed,
so
yes.
if you want to go 35s, I would highly suggest that. Do you think 35s would fit on this?
Not the way it is right now.
I don't think so.
No.
I think the back you'd be okay with, the front you'd rub.
Yeah, and that lift kit Roman is mentioning is going to be available in the summer. So actually it's going to be a 2.6-inch lift from TRD.
Now I took this vehicle to Cars and Coffee and somebody said that this door handle is the same as the old one. Do you know about that?
I don't know.
They said that's the same as the old door handle. These mirrors are very gigantic. I've also read online a lot of people complaining about the size of the mirrors. I actually like the size of the mirrors. I mean, the one big criticism I have of this truck, which I actually kind of like, but it is very, very big and very wide and very hard to kind of place in parking spaces and off-road. I mean, it's just a big in-your-face truck that can be almost like a heavy-duty, full-size truck in the way that it drives. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would. And also the size of the mirror, the bigger the better, in fact, right? They even have a towing mirror, right? That will actually flips out, kind of similar in design in a little bit like a Ram, like what Ram is using. So I think there is no issue with the mirror. And it's got a little like marker light in here, which is great for visibility.
All right, well, shall we show them the inside, Andre? Why don't you hop in? I'll do the lights.
Yeah.
Hop in the driver's side.
There was a comment on the live chat
Yeah.
that said when the current 4Runner design came out, it was very polarizing. People hated it.
Yep.
And now it's kind of grown on people. So maybe the same thing will happen here.
There's plenty of conversation about the front end design of the Tundra, not surprisingly. But yeah, I thought that was a really good point from Awful Wario.
Yep.
All right, why don't you hop in, Andre? You spent the most time with us. So we'll kind of walk you through the inside of this. I actually like the inside a lot. I especially like these seats. You probably see that there's this interesting material that is kind of white that pokes through. I really think that's a really interesting design. One of the criticisms that you had of the truck initially when you drove it, and Andre did drive it 1,000 miles from Texas to Colorado, was you felt there was not enough leg bolster or too much?
Not enough. So
Not enough.
this section, in my opinion, was a little bit too short. I kind of wanted, some cars and vehicles have a little bit extra support right here.
Keep in mind Andre is 6'3", so
Yeah, I'm sorry. Kind of big.
I don't have that problem. My criticism of the seat is like when you push out, and I use lumbar support because I've got a bad back. It's kind of pokey. Instead of being like like a pillow that gently pushes your back, it kind of pokes you in the back.
So other than that, I agree. So I think the design is great. Some of the materials, this section, it looks a little bit light to me, but everything else, sorry, it's a little bit dusty here. I love the positioning, the console shifter, the big switches, right? You can use it in gloved hands, but we didn't get this. We don't have wireless charging.
That's another thing we didn't get
Yeah.
but we did get both vented and heated seats. You want to hit the button, Tommy, so we can fire up the screen? There you go, thank you. Now, of course, that is a massive screen. How many inches, Andre?
That's 14 inches, which is one of the biggest ones currently, in the full-size pickup.
Now
We've been getting a lot of questions. Any issues with the user profiles?
Yeah, I was about to talk about that. So,
Yes.
so Tim did a video. Hey, Tim, if you're on this podcast, I'm talking about Tim Esterdahl, who also bought one. Thank you for getting a blue one, Tim. It'd be very confusing if we both had red ones. He did a video saying that he was unhappy with the user profiles, that the truck made him enter the PIN number every time, but we've never had that issue on ours.
No, so when I picked up our truck, this truck in Houston, I quickly entered my profile and I paired it to my app, and I also got Apple CarPlay enabled. When I did all those steps, it never kind of asked me again. So I didn't have that issue, the same issue with the profiles.
Would you do me a favor, Tommy, and hit the top navigation button? This is one of those things where you are going to get a little nickel and dimed, right? So in order for you to use navigation, you have to subscribe to it.
Yeah, and that comes also with the wireless connection. There's a router, of course, on the truck, and it's, as far as I know, based on the research I did today, it's AT&T is the provider for the connection, and of course, wireless connection failed because my phone is not here.
Yeah, so it's trying to connect to it. The one thing I would say, look, I don't care about OEM navigation, right? As long as you got Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, I trust Google or Apple, whoever you want to use. So I feel like as long as you got those two hooked up, then you've got navigation.
Yeah, but I love this design, dude.
Oh,
this
the
new
design's good.
multimedia system.
Yeah.
There's only 5 things you can click. It's that simple.
I would say it's gone from one of the worst, if not the worst, in the business to one of the best now. It's almost as simple. My favorites are like Uconnect from Stellantis, and I think it's very simple, easy to use. They actually have an internal team based out of Texas that's like 300 people strong that actually designed the system. So they're not like buying it; they're building their own, which is actually pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That's a little annoying. And then you want to show some of the buttons and some of the features.
Yeah, so I want to also show you guys here. So maybe. So this is their mode and four-wheel drive system. TFLnow, I've used, actually, there was Toyota's truck that I went off-road with. TFLnow is still a little bit finicky sometimes, so it happened to us in Texas as well. So you basically pull down and switch it to TFLnow, but you have to be level. If you're not quite level, engaging TFLnow can be an issue.
Well, my that's not my issue. My issue is where's the 4Auto?
Yeah, there's no 4A, so automatic mode is not available here.
And what that means in the real world is, let's say you're here in Colorado and you've got a situation where there's some snow on the ground and then it's either melting or there's not enough. You're going to be either switching, from 2 to 4 high, or you're going to be crabbing.
Exactly, and the 4 automatic mode kind of works like an all-wheel drive system, right?
Yes, exactly.
And Toyota decided not to do it. But I know when I was there at the initial launch, they were very proud that the transfer case chain was gigantic and very durable. So maybe it has to do with durability, I'm not sure.
Yeah, we have to ask Toyota. Outside of that, I do look, if you look down, Tom, you show the pedals. Those are really cool pedals. Those are almost sports car-like pedals. Look at that. A little bit of like steel with rubber inserts to make them very grippy. I like the fact that the brake controller, Tommy, is located right below the on-off button. I think that's really easy to get to. However, the buttons on the other side that we don't have a lot of, because that's where the heated steering wheel would be, right?
Yeah.
Those buttons do seem kind of hard to see.
And they're very low.
They're very low. They're kind of out of sight, and sometimes if there's something important there, they're hard to get to. That's also where the manual headlight switch is.
Which I've tried, and that works really great, actually. You could see the lights. Oh, you can see it right there on the door.
Yeah, Tommy's doing it. Why don't you show him, Tommy?
I don't know if you can tell, but you could see it in real time.
Yeah, you're doing it. Good job.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and that's basically if you load up the rear, and you can get optional air suspension for the rear, self-leveling, but if you don't have that, then you can turn
Adjust
down
your
your
lights,
lights so
yeah.
you don't blind oncoming. What do you think of the steer wheel control? You drove it for 1,000 miles. How do those work?
I really liked it. So over here you have your cruise control. Of course, Toyota Safety Sense driver assistance technologies are here. You've got your distance controls here. You have your lane departure warning and also lane centering. So all those technologies are here, and they're very easy to use. And actually, cruise control worked really well. Lane centering also worked pretty well on a long trip. And over here you got some menus and also volume control. I think it's done well.
Yeah, I mean, look, you don't have a digital speedometer, right? You've got a traditional analog speedometer. If you turn it on, Tommy, you'll show the center. There is a little small screen in the center that you can then manually configure for different things. And all our doors are open, so it's going to say door open, Tommy. Unfortunately, oh, there you go. Can you get past it? Nope, it's just going to say
Go back.
go back.
There we go. So there's a few screens you can actually go through.
It took us a while to figure out how to turn lane keep off. It's not very clear. So if you do buy this truck, the way you do turn lane keep off is you have to push and hold on that for like 2 seconds, and then
Yes.
you can disable it, because I find it annoying personally.
It's not easy to disable.
No, it's not easy to disable.
I think it's probably on purpose.
Yeah.
But the climate control system is great, very easy to use. The ventilated feature and the heated feature.
Why don't we show them the cameras?
Yeah, let's see
Yeah,
if it'll come on.
Oh, there you go. There's your panoramic.
So this view is kind of a default view. If this truck was running, if you put it in reverse or in drive, it will give you all the other camera views.
The problem is you got the door open, so right now that's probably
It's a little bit warped anyways.
because the door. There's 4 cameras, right? There's one in the nose, there's 2 under the mirror, and there's one in the back on the bed. Oh, you can change the color of your truck. Look at
Yep.
that. Put our red one back, Tommy. I love that. It's always a test I use.
But it's a little bit lowered for some reason. All these trucks, they're a little bit low rider.
It's not the TRD off-road, huh?
People want to know if it has a locker.
Yeah, show them that.
It's right here. That's the main reason why we got the TRD off-road package.
Yeah, that's the biggest plus, I think, for the. And then there's something odd back here, which Andre noticed. Show him this, Tommy.
Should we kind of move outside? I want to show you.
Yeah, okay. All right, we'll show you the back of this, but there's a hump in the back, which is very weird because most trucks are flat.
So when a lot of new trucks were redesigned, like Ford, GM, and others, they're very proud of the flat floor in the back here. But Toyota here still has a hump, and I'm not sure exactly why. And also there's kind of permanent storage compartment, which is useful. We're already using it, of course. And you can put dividers in here, but it's not as deep or as actually long on some other trucks. And there's something in here as well.
Now, if you get the hybrid, you lose that. That's where the battery lives.
Yeah, if you get the hybrid system, this entire space is taken by their hybrid battery.
Now, Toyota's biggest party trick, of course, is, let me see if I can do it, which is, something that Tundra has always had.
Oh, yes.
That's a really cool feature, Andre.
Yeah, I've used it on the older truck at the lake, launching the boat. You could lower this and actually really see really well behind you.
Numbers, payload.
Yeah, people want payload and towing.
Yeah, tell them.
And here's the other thing.
Oh, he's going over there.
Here's the other thing. So the payload is 1,400 pounds on this guy. You can kind of see it here, 1,400 pounds. You can also see that gross vehicle weight rating is over here, 7,230. So that means this truck weighs about 5,800 pounds, which is actually a little bit hefty. There's some other trucks comparable to this that are a couple 100 pounds lighter maybe.
Now this is cool. There's a camera right there, right?
Yep.
And there's a camera up there too. So
And actually 2 cameras.
there's 2 cameras up here. If we had the camera in the rearview mirror, then that
Or-
would be where the other camera would
Yeah.
live. So you have a camera on your bed and you have a camera for backing up.
Exactly. And this bed, let me get the key fob so we can pop the tailgate.
Well, no, you don't have to do it. Andre, let me show him. Look,
What?
Look, oh my hands are full. I can't use the key fob or open the,
Here, hold this.
here, yeah, oh, my hands are full. What can I do? Oh, I can do that.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, there's a little switch that's hidden in the taillight here that lets you pop the tailgate.
So yeah, we'll talk about, so payload 1,400 pounds. Towing is about 11,120 pounds on this limited truck. It can be a little bit higher with other trims and two-wheel drive models, or it can be lower if you're adding more equipment to this
Now
truck.
the bed is a composite bed, Andre?
Totally. So they went away from steel. Very similar type of theory to the Tacoma. Tacoma had a composite bed for many years, and now Tundra has it too.
Now the one thing I was a little disappointed in is just the number of tie downs. There's only 4 really. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Most trucks now have at least 6 or 8, right? And then of course we did get these. I think these are optional.
The rail, and we do have the cleats.
Yeah.
So that was a huge help, and you can put these cleats along the front of it too.
Even though these are screwed in, I wonder how much actual weight how much weight bearing these can do. I think if you
I
put a
don't know
motorcycle in
exactly.
here, but I'm not sure if you want to put a lot of weight on this.
We'll go to David's and figure this out.
We'll go to David's and figuring out. And then of course now the newest trend in truck beds is the ability to put like 2x4s and create your own little space. So it's got like a little thing there. It's got some little 2x4 things here. But let's face it, in terms of like bed technology and tailgate technology, Toyota is lacking a little bit. You know, when we compare it to like Fords with the step and the little handle, or we compare it to Chevy or GM's, you know,
With the
with
fold-out
with the Pro,
system,
with the
yeah.
fold out and the Bluetooth, and you know.
There was a comment from Hilux Taka saying LED bed lights would be useful too.
So we didn't get that as part of our package.
Once again,
Once again, we're
57,000 and no LED bed lights. All we have are those 2 up there.
and we also have no power outlet. So normally you would get 120 volt, 400 watt outlet somewhere in this area, and we don't have that either.
And we know that because we have that other truck outside that has all of it. So I always feel like, you think, Andre, if we return this one to Toyota, they would notice the difference?
I don't know. We
They're
would
both
gain a
red.
couple things.
We gain about 3,000 options, I think.
Yeah, so we did some towing. One thing I'll point out that the hitch is pretty useful. It's really easy to hook up your chains. And then your 7-pin connectors are here. There's 2 tow modes, and I kind of messed that up in the first video. We're going to do more testing and more towing.
Hey, now that we're at the back, can we cover that bumper corner piece question?
Yes, so
Stop the show.
yeah, so what Toyota was doing, and you can get different trims of the Tundra with different corners. And I think the idea, first of all, you can get this painted or blacked out or silver, like you see here. But also, if you hit something, these are panels that you can replace. So they're separate pieces, which is kind of useful. So if you hit this, you don't have to replace the entire piece. You can just replace this piece or this piece.
Yeah, and what Andre's talking about, we did a eye gauntlet with it. Obviously, Andre compared it to the Ram this weekend. It's over at TFL Truck. But we didn't realize, or Andre, did you know or did you forget?
I did know, and I forgot.
forgot.
So what happened was, when the truck was debuted, I was talking to Mike Swears,
Yeah.
and he told me
Chief
about
engineer.
chief engineer, and he told me about the wonderful tow plus mode, and then I misunderstood somehow. I thought he meant it was only available on certain packages, but apparently this truck also has it. So. And I forgot.
So basically, when you're towing over 8,000 pounds, it's got a special mode that lets you tow heavy. And so I've asked Andre, and he has agreed to redo the
And
eye
see if
gauntlet
it makes a
And see
difference.
if it makes a difference.
Yeah.
So we'll have a comparison. We'll do that one as a raw, not edited. So we'll run the whole thing because some of the comments where you want to see all the gauges. Plus, we've got a scan tool, right, that's going to hook up, and we're going to get actually transmission temperatures because recently there has been a spike in transmission temperatures because people have gotten rid of their transmission. And what gear transmission does this have?
This is a 10-speed, their latest transmission, and that's the only transmission available.
I think you mean they got rid of the transmission coolers, not
Right.
the transmission itself.
Yeah, they, when it goes electric, then that's when the transmission goes.
Not
Sorry,
yet.
guys. Thank you, Tommy. And the other thing that this, of course, has is coil springs instead of leaf springs now.
And also Bilstein Shocks. You can kind of see the blue element right there. And that's the only big reason. The other big reason why I really wanted the off-road package is because you get the special shocks and you get the special suspension.
So, Andre, 1,000 miles behind the wheel, how was the ride? Is it better with coils as opposed to leaves?
I think it was better. I really enjoyed this. Still, of course, a solid rear axle, 331 rear differential ratio. You can kind of see the coils. They're a little bit hidden. And I think the ride is not just comfortable, but also controlled.
So look, here's what happened. I mean, there is a bit of competitiveness out on YouTube, so when we heard that Tim had ordered his, we really wanted to be the first to pick ours up.
Yes,
We
of
did.
course.
We really worked hard because we make
And
it-
we talked to Toyota about this.
yeah, we make a promise. You saw it first on the Fast Lane truck, so we really tried. And so when Toyota called and said, hey, it's ready to be picked up, Andre actually had his wife's Christmas party. So he flew down that day that they called, and then he cannonballed it back up here so he could make his wife's Christmas party by Friday afternoon, which
And I did.
you got in just in time, right?
Yes. So a lot of things just kind of worked out. So I had put a lot of miles in under 1,000 miles in under 24 hours.
Hey, we got a super chat
All right.
Super chat.
from Milo, 499. Says, great job, guys. 20-foot garage. Does she fit? Always watching, always supporting.
Well, my garage at my house is 19 feet long.
Well, hold on. Well, let's find out. Since we're in our garage, hopefully, if somebody's put the tape measure back,
Which I hope somebody will.
well, which somebody didn't, Andre. So this is a problem.
I think I know where it is. Hang on.
Okay. So in my 19-foot garage, this truck wouldn't fit for sure, because these new crew cab, short base, short bed. Oh my gosh, the Tundra is talking to us.
If you continue to receive this message, contact your dealer.
It said it's not connecting to.
Well, of course it's not connecting. It's inside of the studio.
It's gone. Oh, you found it.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
Let's
thanks.
figure out for him if it fits in a 20-foot garage. So here. Tell you what. You go. I'll hold it here, and you follow him, and you can see if it goes to 20. All right.
Okay.
So we'll make this into.
So the wheelbase is about 147.5 inches. The total, and you could look this up too to be a little bit more precise, but this is 232 inches. So so that's just under 20 feet. So in theory, if you were, if you had a few inches on each side, you could get it into a 20-foot garage, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
Would you want something that you cannot walk around?
Well, no, because if it were me, I'd back it into the rear wall immediately.
Yes.
It's going to be like beep, 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 beep. And you're still going to have to keep going. Yeah, exactly. So are there any questions that we can answer for you guys? Would you be so kind, Zach?
5.5-foot bed from Aaron Kelly.
Oh, let's find
This
out.
is.
Let's find out.
Let's measure it.
Got the tape measure.
All right, here. I got the
Hold on.
tape.
Let's open the tailgate.
Yeah. There you go, Andre. And I got it, Tommy. I'm holding it. I got it. Wanna go
Let's
down?
measure the floor. Hold on.
Let's go
I
down.
got it, Tommy. So this is 65.25. So 60 feet is 5
Tommy's doing
foot,
the math. He's got the phone out.
and right here 65.5. So 5 foot, 5.43 feet.
About as close as you're going to get.
Yeah, and this is what everybody kind of rounds to, right?
Yep.
You can also get this truck with a crew cab, crew max like we have here, with a 6.5-foot bed. But when we were selecting a truck, that truck is.
There's another comment while Tommy's over here real quick asking, does it have a lockable gas cap?
Let's show him.
No, it does not.
But it does not have it has a cap. So a lot of.
Yeah, it's not capless.
It's not capless, but it's not lockable.
Well, let's see. Does it have it's got the preventing thing, doesn't it? Or you can't siphon out of it.
It's really won't be able to siphon.
Yeah, so new trucks, and you'll see this on like Ford products, right? They won't even have a cap because there is an anti-siphon device. Yes.
Let's try something.
All right.
Grab the key and lock it. I want to see if you can open it.
All right, we'll give it a shot. Let's find out.
And also, when you lock the truck, the tailgate locks as well. So that's a cool feature.
All right, here we go.
No, when you lock the truck, it's still openable.
Still open. But you can do this. I always think this is nice. Can you move that for a second? Let me show you. Tommy, come over here.
Another quick question while he's coming back around. Any word on when the TRD Pro is coming out, Andre?
There you have it. The answer to the TRD Pro question is they said about March or April because the TRD Pro is only available as a hybrid. And because of that, and the hybrid comes out later, TRD Pro comes out later.
Look,
Another super chat real quick.
Oh, super chat.
Also from Milo again for $4.99. One more, guys. Locking gas tank Or do you recommend a locking gas cap since it doesn't come with one?
Well, once
I
again,
don't
it's
think
got
it's a
an
huge issue.
anti-siphon device, so it probably doesn't matter. The one thing I gotta say is, it's been a really rough year for a lot of consumers, and I have to give it to Toyota for actually building the truck when they said they would, right? There have been numerous companies, and I could go down the list, including Ford with the Bronco, including Rivian with the Rivian, including Tesla, that have not been able to build the trucks when they said they would build, right? We're supposed to be, being able to drive. What is it doing now?
I don't know. I think it locked it.
Did it lock it? I put the key away. We're supposed to be driving a Cybertruck right now, and of course that's not out. It's been delayed by a year. The Bronco's been delayed. Maverick, was that delayed?
Maverick, they're delivering Maverick, which is good. But the GMC Hummer, they said end of the year.
Yeah.
This is the end of the year.
Yeah, so I'm not
Where's
sure.
the Hummer?
Anyway, so I'm just, I want to congratulate Toyota for actually getting it out there. And we're seeing online and we're seeing on the forums that people are taking delivery of their trucks. And they're not, like Rivian did this thing where they, did a handful of hand-built ones before they went public. And hey, we're building them. When you're actually cranking out a couple hundred a day or a couple thousand a day, that's when you're building them, I think.
Yeah. And actually saw one in the wild too.
Yeah.
So somebody in my neighborhood just bought a brand new Tundra. So they're actually coming out.
So any other questions, Zach?
We had a couple people asking, can you lower the back glass again?
Yeah, sure.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I get it.
Will Toyota, okay, Andre, I've got one. Ryan Bardwell, will Toyota ever make a heavy-duty truck? What are your thoughts?
I seriously doubt it. So when they were launching this Tundra, they said, and this is according to their chief engineer, that this is their towing machine. So to me, that means that this is as far as they're going to go.
Make sure you are in an area with good cellular coverage and try again. If you continue to receive this message, contact your dealer.
So Roman, do you know when the technology is great?
Yeah.
It's great, but when technology...
Communication module activation failed. Please make sure you are in an area with good cellular
Well, that's something.
Because you're excited.
Apparently it's not talking to whoever it's supposed to be talking to. So I've never had that message before. I think Toyota's got some teething issues with their new operating system. I think that's fair, Andre.
It's maybe possible. I mean, we know Tim had some profile connection issue. We didn't.
Yeah.
We're having maybe another issue.
Well, anyway,
Small issue.
it's not going to stop us from driving it. Tomorrow we're actually going to be drag racing it, and we're doing a really fun video that'll be out later this week. Actually, out by Wednesday. So the idea is that here's the drag race: Ram 1500 versus your F-150.
Well, first there's a Titan.
So Titan
Ram versus Titan.
Titan. Winner of that takes on
The F-150.
50. Winner of that takes on the Tundra, and winner of that takes on the TRX.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a full-size truck drag race bracket tomorrow. I can't wait because those are the most fun we have. And people say, why do you, I mean, that's the comment we get the most. Why do you drag race trucks? And the answer is, of course, well, because when you're pulling on, no, it's because it's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun.
And it also gives us a chance to do 0 to 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zach?
Couple more questions. One, while you guys are standing right here, could you demonstrate the rear legroom?
Yeah, go ahead, Andre.
Yes.
6'3", demonstrate the rear legroom. Let me get the light for you so you can see wherever we put that.
The light is on the table, I believe.
Okay, thank you.
So look at this. Legroom is good. I have quite a lot of legroom, and because this truck does not have a panoramic sunroof, I actually have really decent headroom. I've sat in another Tundra with a sunroof here, and it was a little tight for me. So this is actually really good.
You know what feature I like on this truck?
What?
I like the fact that it pulls the seat back when you get in it, right? It's that kind of easy
Like the
access.
auto, the auto feature.
You know what else we don't have in this Limited?
What?
The upgraded stereo system.
Yeah, this is basic. This is, there's no name brand.
But there are 2 speakers on the door.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And also the big area for your elbow, which is really cool now too. Actually, this is kind of a harder plastic here.
I like the interior, Andrew. I think they did a good job.
Overall, the design?
Yeah, I kind of think it's what I call honest, right? I like the big mixture of big, like toggle switches with big round dials that actually have a nice, satisfying click to them. I like the traditional shift lever, and I like the design of the thing. A lot of people are saying that the nose is only one that mom can love, but I actually like it. I think it's very in your face. The downside, like I say, is it drives big.
It
Very
drives big. The hood, initially, remember when you and I drove it in Texas, we thought the hood was huge. But then I got into a Ram truck with their power bulge,
Yeah.
and this doesn't have it actually. So this is not too bad. It still does have a pretty big nose, but good visibility.
One question from William Wynn. He was asking it a couple times. Did you notice any wind buffeting with the back glass down? I'm assuming with the rest of the windows up and just the back glass down.
We haven't,
at highway
it's
speed.
been cold here, so I don't think we actually, I think that was the
Not a
very
lot.
first time we took did you take the back last
I
time?
did.
Second time we took
I did. When I was going through an area near Amarillo, there was a lot of cow farming,
Yeah.
ranches there.
And you wanted the smell of the farm?
No, I was trying to get the smell out.
Okay. I thought you were enjoying the smell of the farm.
Roman, while you're standing right there, from Dill's Place question, what is the tire size stock on this? particular
Let's
truck?
read it.
Yeah, let me get the light for you again.
So actually, 265, we'll show that to you. 265, 60, R20. And this turns out to be about like 32 and a half. So it's not quite a 33. When you get the TRD Pro, the tire is approaching a 33. This is a tiny bit less. So it's right here, 265, 60, R20.
Just show them, Tommy, can you show them, if you can see it, maybe if I turn the wheel, the suspension and the, let me turn the wheel.
Yeah, it has a huge
I know, it's incredible.
anti-sway
While
bar.
he's doing that real quick, Andre, if you want to come to me real quick, we got another super chat.
And you know what, I'll start up so you can hear it too. I can't start up too long because we're inside, but. Here, go for it, start up. So people can hear it, Tommy, why don't you go, Andre, you have to go over there so they can hear it.
Okay,
I
let
need
me
your
get
mic.
it, and then I'll get the question
All right,
about four-wheel drive.
All right, here's the start
and
up.
driving.
Where are you going? You just went past
Oh, I
the-
forgot. It's over here.
Hey, just to let you know, the communication module activation was completed, so we're good.
Oh, awesome.
Anyway, you
Oh,
know-
wait, turn the tire.
Oh, after all that, I
Sorry, we forgot.
forgot. Yeah.
That's okay. So,
The other way?
that's good. So, first of all, it's a good view of the Bilstein Shocks that Toyota worked with Bilstein on and the coilover. But I think, Roman, you're talking about this.
Yeah, exactly.
This huge anti-sway bar.
Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah, and so the articulation is okay, not maybe the best. I showed that in the off-road video. Can you drive in 4-high on partially slippery roads? I haven't tried that, so I don't know.
I mean, in the other vehicles, when you're in 4-high, it does tend to crab. If there's like good, no. If you're in wet, it's fine. If you're in snow, it's fine. But if you get on dry, so if it's alternating.
That's a good segue, actually. One thing I wanted to mention for the exhaust on startup there, the truck has been sitting for a few days,
Yeah.
so I just wanted to point that out.
Oh, and that-
Also, a super chat from Pablo Armendariz. I'm so sorry if I butchered your name. $5. Can you drive in 4x4 high on curves in the mountains if it's barely raining and the roads are not slippery because there is no center diff lock?
Well, we haven't tried it, but like we said, there may be a little bit of crabbing because four-wheel drive is actually engaged.
And then some of the questions we had: is there any wax on the frame? No, there's no wax.
It's painted. It's fully boxed.
It's fully boxed. It's painted. And does it have sound augmentation on the inside? So when we were doing the drag race, somebody made the comment that it does. I think Toyota said it does, but the exhaust is so quiet that it doesn't. You can't even hear it when you're barely at full throttle. It's a very quiet truck.
And we showed it on the iGauntlet. It was about 61 to 62 decibels.
That's incredible.
Which, and double check this, this was kind of it was the quietest truck on the Ike.
Yeah, it's incredible. Usually
was
we're
very quiet.
at full throttle, towing 8,000 pounds, going up a steep grade. You're at like 70 to 75, and this thing was in the 60s.
Yeah, 62 decibels.
So
which
if they are augmenting it, they're augmenting it the other way.
they're probably quieting some of it down. too.
Exactly. Any other questions before we wrap this up? We've been going almost 45 minutes now. I don't want to bore people.
There's been a question from Finian Fitzsimmons, and he's been asking a few times. I apologize for taking a minute to get to it. Are Toyota going to add 4 Auto
As far
to
as
the TRD off-road
no.
package in the future?
As far as we know, the answer is no.
Yeah.
Because we asked about it, and there was not a great answer from Toyota, but it's not available.
All right, well, so let's wrap this up. Let me give you kind of my thoughts. And keep in mind, guys, we have driven every truck on the market, excluding the Rivian and the Cybertruck. I did ride
You
on the
drove
Cyber.
the Hummer.
I drove the Hummer.
Yeah.
I'll give you what I don't like about it, and I'll give you what I like about it. How about that? So,
Okay.
actually, I do it the other way. So here's what I like about it. I actually like the styling a lot. It's one of those trucks that, for me, after I get out of it, I kind of turn around and look at it. I know that is a thing that like truck guys do, but I do like the look of it. I think they've improved it massively. There's this kind of this square-jawed, boxy, purposeful sense about it. It makes it look, mean and aggressive, and I think that's the current design language. And they didn't fuss it up too much, right? A lot of Japanese design, especially now, if you look at, there's so many cars and trucks I could name. There's a lot of intersecting, especially with Hyundai angles. Like look at the Tucson. This is actually relatively minimalistic. So you don't
And
have
more Americanized in a way, I think.
a more Americanized.
Yeah, I would say.
So I do like the style a lot. The downside to that is that when you're driving it, it drives big, but I've already mentioned that. I don't like the fact that it's rolling on 33s, but that's easily fixable. I think this truck will look so much more purposeful on 35s. At some point, Toyota or the dealers will do that because you could roll it into your loan, right? So why not? I'm not super excited by the price. I think this was a lot of money to spend on a truck. But then again, I also think that you are getting a truck that is now certainly at the same level as the three majors, right? I'm going to take Nissan out of it for now, but it's at the same level as Ford, Ram, and Chevy. I always look for like headlines. What's the headline? Where do they get better? And there are some significant improvements and are very important. So people may not like the subscription service, but I think the operating system, the infotainment, is so much better.
It's huge. Yeah.
It's huge. It makes it easy to use and fun to use. The other place where it's gotten a lot better, I think, is kind of the interior design. To me, it was starting to get really dated. And we did drive the old one back to back with the new one. And until you do that, it's hard to express just how much more modern and new this is. And then my favorite feature, simple, easy peasy. I love this. I think that's so cool.
Nobody else has that.
Nobody else has that. So
Right.
It's cool. Somebody was actually thinking about how people use their trucks and innovated it. All right, I'll let you go.
My favorite feature of this truck, or one of my favorite parts, is the way it drives and rides. Yes, the steering is truck-like. It's not a sports car, but I think the comfort, especially with the trailer, dude, when I was on the iGauntlet with this truck, it just almost felt like I wasn't towing.
That's incredible.
And I was towing 8,100 pounds. So the stability and just the comfort that this truck offers, even when loaded, I think is just where they stepped it up, maybe even further above than some others. I would change a couple things, like you said. I would probably get, at least for the off-road package, an 18-inch wheel, meteor tire. I think it does need a small lift to get a 35. That would make it look incredible. But of course, you would be losing fuel efficiency at that point, right?
Yeah, the fuel efficiency, we don't know. I mean, it's supposed to be like in the high 19s, right?
So 19 combined is
Yeah.
what they said.
What'd you get?
18.6.
All right, so you got 19 combined.
So 22 on the highway for a four-wheel drive truck, it's average.
Yeah,
It's not, they didn't leapfrog anybody.
Compared to your Ford hybrid, it's not,
Well,
staggering.
yeah, the Ford hybrid is at 24. We don't know what the hybrid Tundra will be.
Andre, there are a lot of guys who miss the V8 though.
I know. We heard some comments from you. But I would say this truck, you know what we need to do?
What?
The next drag race is old versus new. I think people may want to see that because the old V8 versus the new V6.
All right, so let's wrap this up. A couple things that are still coming up ahead. First of all, we did take it off-road already, of course, so we're going to have an off-road video. Andre's going to rerun the Ike. Then we're going to have that drag race video. That's coming up. And then, of course, we're going to try to keep this, usually we keep them between 6 months and a year, depending, so that we give you a sense of what problems break. Hopefully, with most of the trucks that we've had, like the TRX, we've had 0 problems. We've almost had a year, and we've had no problems. So I'm hoping the same is with this truck. We'll see. But yeah, it's going to become our shop truck, so we're going to use it. We're going to tow with it.
Road
And
trips.
We're going to take it to Moab.
Yeah.
A lot more coming up with it.
Absolutely. And you know what I want to do next summer?
What's that?
If we
Andre?
still have it? I want to lift it.
Yeah, we'll lift it. Why
Yeah,
not?
yeah.
Yeah.
I want to lift it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
this will be our like 5th long-term test truck. We started with the Raptor, then we had the Rebel, then we had
Trail Boss?
Trail Boss. We're trying to, as you can see, we're trying to change brands. Then we did the TRX, and now this year we're going to have this. So I'm super excited. It also means we're going to be selling trucks. So at some point, if you're in the market for a TRX, that's going to have to go out the window to help pay for this. As always, Andre, this is Roman
And Andre.
saying thank you for watching. Thank you guys for joining us. And